Good evening, Southeast Texas. Hope you're doing well. We're watching a weak front. Yes, it is a cold front technically. It's weak, not going to reduce temperatures that much, but it's going to bring in a little drier air to our area coming up tomorrow. Otherwise, we have been watching showers and storms move across portions of the area. We'll get to that in just a second. But in your weather headline, some evening showers and storms. Then the front comes through. And again, the lower humidity is expected coming up tomorrow. It's going to be one day, a little bit lower humidity, so that will take the sting out of the heat index tomorrow and also lower those afternoon humidities on Wednesday. But as the front stalls out in the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf, I should say, tomorrow evening or tonight and into tomorrow morning, it will then head back to the north as we work on into late Wednesday and on into Wednesday night. So that means the humidity will come back into our area. And then as we head towards Thursday, lots of moisture. A ridge of high pressure will be over our area this weekend. And it means that that ridge will probably suppress most shower and thunderstorm activity. So hot, humid, and dry coming up this weekend. Then the ridge begins to break down. And the big question is, which model is going to do best as we head towards Memorial Day and Tuesday of next week? We've got some models that are showing an 80 to 90% coverage of widespread shower and thunderstorm activity Memorial Day. I'm not ready to do that yet. I want to see a little more agreement between the models, and we'll see how they do better as far as the placement of these upper level disturbances that we're anticipating coming up on Memorial Day. So at this point, we'll keep a low end scattering, about a 40% coverage coming up on Memorial Day. So you may have to keep the barbecue pit close to the patio. Otherwise, as far as your allergy report, weed and grass pollen are at moderate levels. No changes there. So here's the setup. Our front is moving on in. They need to update that. But the front now just over towards, well, I didn't want to do that. Let me go back. The front is now up towards moving into Tyler County. And as I said, northern Tyler County near Zavala, Polk County, and back over towards Conroe. You can see that little bit of haze in the air there also. And that's the front. So we got a couple areas of thunderstorm activity that appear to be weakening over towards Fred. And that thunderstorm that was severe over towards eastern Liberty County and western Jefferson County with large hail has completely fallen apart. So the good news is it seems like the severe threat is pretty much over. Few lightning strikes here, maybe a little small pea-sized hail, but as you can see, mainly over towards south of Warren, over towards Fred, not quite towards Spurger, and this headed on off towards maybe between Buna and Kirbyville over the next 15 minutes. But again, I don't expect this to be severe. Let's check, see, well, there may be a little bit of hail. So yeah, I don't think it's severe, but there could be some small hail there. Remember, for a thunderstorm to be severe, it needs to be 1 inch size hail. So if you've got a ½ inch size hail or 3/4 of an inch, it's technically not severe. It still can do a little bit of damage. Regardless, not seeing any wind per se. Let's check and see. That's the strongest winds I see there, 26 miles an hour, so not severe there. And the thunderstorm that, wow, just fell apart. I haven't seen any reports of hail over towards China and back over towards Devers. I'll have to investigate that further. Otherwise, Futurecast did a good job of showing that the shower and thunderstorm activity as it moved on through our area. Now it is weekend. So this weak front will then push out into the Gulf overnight, and our winds will then turn to the north. Yeah, we do this occasionally in May. It's not rare. It's not going to be it's not going to be a strong front. Let's just put it that way. So tomorrow morning, it looks like we could see lows, probably the mid 60s there, 70 to the lower 70s in the triangle. I guess that beats 78, right? And then we'll go with partly cloudy to partly sunny skies, particularly here in the triangle. I think we could see lower 90s in the lakes and into the mid to upper 80s. Maybe 90 in the triangle. Depends on how much cloud cover we get, but that ain't mostly sunny. Yes, I said ain't. We're going to go with partly sunny skies here in the triangle as that front that stalled in the Gulf then lifts back to the north as a warm front as we work on into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. And that will open the door to a warm, humid end of the week and on into the weekend, as you can see. So this is the upper level pattern and moisture in the atmosphere. This is called what we call precipitable water, and this is the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere. So as the front pushes through, that is going to be reduced. See all this brown? That's dry air, and that's filtering on in to our area and will reduce the humidity coming up tomorrow afternoon, so it feels a little more tolerable, and it seems like we will see less of a bite on the heat index tomorrow across southeast Texas. Otherwise, it looks like the lakes area will see some pretty nice weather tomorrow with lots of sun, lower humidity. But again, with the front lifting back to the north as a warm front coming up tomorrow afternoon, that means the humidity will be returning, especially on Thursday. Then for the weekend, lots of people have outdoor activities in mind, and it looks like most of the weekend's going to be good. We'll see a ridge of high pressure. Usually you don't see much in the way of shower and thunderstorm activity as far as being underneath a ridge of high pressure. And that's what we're expecting. A ridge of high pressure will be right over Texas coming up Saturday afternoon. So hot, humid, and dry. And that will be pretty much the case coming up on, say, Sunday, as we don't expect anything in the forecast. Now, as we work on in to, say, Monday, Memorial Day. Now, this is one model. It's a deterministic model, not an ensemble model. So it's still a little bit questionable of how strong this shortwave. See the bend right there? These are disturbances. That's going to be coming in on Memorial Day, and that could generate, see that right there? See the wind direction change? See that? That's what we call a shortwave. Winds are that way. That's a difference in the upper levels. Same thing here. They're out of the west-northwest, and there's upper level disturbances, moisture to work with, and no cap. This is what we look for during the summertime. So that is what could bring us scattered, possibly numerous showers and storms. As I said, this is not ironed out, and we're expecting probably a 40% coverage, maybe more, because there's some model active that are showing a good 80-90% coverage of showers and storms, but those aren't always right. So we'll give it another day or two before we really turn up the chances of rain. But just be expecting scattered, possibly numerous showers and storm Memorial Day on into Tuesday. Otherwise, in your coastal marine forecast, as you can see, light winds tomorrow. They'll be out of the northeast and then southeast at 10 knots. Water temperature 85 degrees. So our forecast, things are winding down, and you can adjust those rain chances down significantly now here in the triangle as skies become partly cloudy. What we will see is the winds gradually shifting as the front is now into northern Tyler County. Those winds are going to be turning to the northwest, so you've got more time for those temperatures to cool, possibly 63, 64, 65 in the lakes area. A little bit cooler up towards Silsbee and back over to Votah and Deweyville. And then here in the triangle, rain chances have pretty much gone down significantly as we're looking at temperatures dropping into the lower 70s, maybe 70 along I-10, Vidor, back over to China and Beaumont. So tomorrow, your high temperature, especially here in the triangle, going to be greatly dependent upon how much sun we see. I don't think we're going to see terribly a lot. We'll go with partly cloudy to partly sunny. It's going to be hot. May see some isolated coastal showers, Sabine Pass, High Island, because that front will be in the nearshore waters. That's possible. I think we'll see high temperatures mid to upper 80s here in the triangle. And again, the triangle is Jefferson and Orange counties. But we forecast not only for the lakes in the triangle, but this new area, inland southeast Texas, and that is Hardin, southern Jasper, southern Newton counties. You guys will see over towards Kuntz and Buna and back over to Lumberton, partly cloudy skies. It'll be hot, but lower humidity as the winds go from the northeast and then southeast. But the lakes area probably going to see the best weather tomorrow with the lowest humidity. That means your high temperatures are going to warm up, but it's a dry heat, if that makes sense. It's going to feel a little more comfortable across our area tomorrow. But again, I think the lakes will see the most sun, and also the least sun will be here in the triangle. So taking a look at tomorrow, look at how the humidity levels really drop up in the lakes area. We hold on to them here in the triangle because of the proximity of that front. Okay, so the dries here will be up there towards the lake. So that means that the heat index, we may get a break on that tomorrow. Does anybody get to 90? Oh, look at that. Here in the triangle, maybe the lower 90s because there's more moisture in the air, and the heat index is dependent upon how much moisture and your temperature. So that's why the heat index will be higher here in the triangle than probably up in the lakes area. So not too bad tomorrow if you're working outside pushing that lawnmower. So taking a look at your 7-day weather impact forecast. So Wednesday, a break in the humidity. Thursday, the moisture comes back, but look at that, 93. Every model pretty much saying we should see about 93 here in Beaumont. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will likely be dry, hot, and humid because of that ridge of high pressure coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs, at least here in Beaumont, into the 90-degree range. And then, as I said, Monday and Tuesday of next week will be greatly dependent upon the strength of those upper-level disturbances, and that at this point will go with just a 40 to 50% coverage as a possible front. See how the winds go from south to southeast on Monday to maybe northeast on Tuesday. Kind of what we're seeing today may happen again next Tuesday. So go with a little higher chance of rain and thunderstorm activity on Tuesday. So that's what we're looking at over the next 7 days across southeast Texas. Let's take a quick look at Futurecast. Yeah, looking dry up towards the lakes area, and briefly you saw in Beaumont. Let me go ahead and review radar as we wind this on down. And again, this is the shower and thunderstorm activity just falling apart here. And look how the rain cooled the temperatures down here in Beaumont. You didn't get any rain for, say, ever into Orange and Port Arthur, so you're warmer. And up in the lakes area, watching that weakening cell over towards Fred and Spurger ahead of the front. And you can see the front, it's nearing Woodville, not too far from Woodville, probably Cominil, back over towards, say Conroe now. The front has passed them, so it's on its way. That means your winds will be shifting on off towards the north and west. So still a couple of cells to the west of Warren with some lightning there, and also a cell in the northern sections of, say, Hardin County, some lightning there. Let's see if there's any wind, little bit of hail possible. This is see, radar, there are several types of scans that you have on radar. We can look and see if there's hail by looking at the shape of what is falling. We can see how fast the wind is blowing those drops or whatever, and that allows us to determine speeds in the thunderstorms. And this is what we look for as far as hail, and it's not showing much. And then again, with velocity, this is Doppler winds, and basically what the radar is doing is it's looking at how fast the raindrops or whatever is in the sky, maybe hail or whatever, being blown around. And you can tell by direction too. That green means that it's basically heading off towards the radar site, which is over in Lake Charles. So that's how we're able to tell if there's any spin in the atmosphere. And then that activity here in Beaumont has just fallen apart across southeast Texas. One more time, taking a look at Futurecast. And again, the big story is this weak front that is going to continue to move off towards the east. I think the rains are pretty much winding down here in the triangle. We'll be watching that activity up over towards Tyler and northern Newton, I should say northern Hardin County. Otherwise, this pushes off towards the south and east, and it looks like we will see a drier day coming up across southeast Texas. So let's go ahead and review your forecast as we say goodbye to you here in just a few seconds. We're looking at partly cloudy skies tonight. The rain's pretty much ending over the next hour or so. Lows could drop into the low to mid 60s in the lakes to around 70 to the lower 70s in the triangle. Then tomorrow, lots of sun, hot but less humid up in the lakes, around 90. And here in the triangle, middle to upper 80s to near 90 degrees expected. The winds will be light out of the northeast in the morning, turning southeasterly in the afternoon. And then as we say and take a look at our 7-day forecast. So Wednesdays, there's a break in the humidity. Thursday, it comes back. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, hot, humid, and dry. And then the big story is Monday, Memorial Day, Tuesday, are we looking at scattered and numerous showers and thunderstorms. Hope you are doing well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a good evening.